straight to it. All right, I appreciate y'all pulling up. So we're gonna talk about 3 steps to maximize your business funding while funding other people. So I'm gonna go off camera while I'm giving a presentation. I want y'all to focus. If you want to take a look at me, you can go to my IG at Michael Benjamin. Let's get straight to it. Oh, someone in the waiting room again. All right, so housekeeping rules. So I want y'all to make sure that y'all pay attention and participate. Please give me at least 60 minutes of your time. We're not going to be here all night. So, just keep that in mind. And we got to be real. If you can't focus for 60 minutes, you're not going to be as serious about, your success. So keep that in mind. I want to know where y'all tapping in from. So go ahead and give me in the comments where y'all tapping in from. Let me know where y'all tapping in from. Let me know where y'all tapping in from. I need some participation tonight. Where y'all tapping in from? Let me know. Let me know in the chat where y'all tapping in from. Let me know. Let me know. We got LA in the building. We got Alabama. We got Detroit. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. So also it'd be helpful if you take pictures of your notes, tag me on IG. You never know what that may do for you. Stay until the end. Like I said, if I commit to teaching you the game, this business funding game has changed my life and don't have to work no 9 to 5, will you take action? Drop one in the chat if you're committed to taking action. It says a lot about y'all to be here at a time where you could be enjoying your weekend. I know it's Veterans Day and all that, so it says a lot about y'all to definitely be here. So I definitely appreciate y'all time. All right, so this is one of my students. He got 50K at 0% interest for 12 months. Let me know in the chat what y'all would do with the 50K approval right now. 50K at 0% interest. What would y'all do with that right now? I'm just curious what y'all would do with that. I'm just curious what y'all would do with that. Someone said real estate. Imagine you getting that for your client too. You made $5,000 just like that. So we're gonna talk about that today. So our objective is to go over the truth about business funding and how to structure a fundable credit profile. I want to also give y'all my strategy for how to maximize getting big limit approvals. You see a lot of people online, they might get the 10 to 20K approvals. When you see people get 50,000 and up, like myself and my students, we're working through a bank relationship manager. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about how to actually start this high income skill as a business or side hustle for y'all. All right, so this could possibly be the single night that changes your life forever. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I'm being serious, so keep that in mind. So who is this class for? This class is for small business owners that are looking for extra capital for themselves. It's also for you if you're in the credit repair space. Maybe you're tired of cheap credit repair clients. Maybe you're looking to add or transition to business funding because the payouts are amazing. And then it's also for business-minded people that see more for themselves besides just a 9 to 5 job. Maybe you don't have a credit repair business. Maybe you don't have a funding business, but you want to start. Who's the class not for? People who are not committed to taking action and don't want to do what I say. People who are not willing to invest in themselves. People who only want to have one stream of income or however many that you have. You can always have more, obviously. So why should you even fund other people? I understand that some people may be watching this. They want to just get the game so they can use it for themselves. That's cool, but you got to realize that you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you don't fund other people. There's low barrier to entry as a business owner. There's no license needed. You don't got to be a credit repair or consumer law expert, even though that makes your arsenal a lot better if you are aware of that, but you don't, it's not necessary. It's very scalable without having to have hundreds of clients and then you get the high payouts, like I said. So why am I personally doing this, right? If you don't know me, our mission is basically to help fund $1 billion to small business owners. I can't do it by myself. So the more I help y'all, the more that y'all help me and our mission. To be honest, to be transparent, you winning helps promote my business more because you just gonna refer more people to me, right? So I just gotta keep it a buck. I'm not going to be on here and act like it doesn't benefit me to help y'all. So, that's the reality too. And then I used to work a 9 to 5. I want you to feel the freedom and happiness I felt when I left my 9 to 5 having this information. And then, the economy's tough. People are low on money. People hate their 9 to 5s. And, it's a new president. So we got to figure out how we're going to capitalize on this. So back in the day, this is what happened. Back in the day, I graduated college with a chemical engineering degree. I worked as an engineer for years while I was taking on multiple failed side hustles. I wish I just focus on business funding, but that wasn't the reality. I self-published a book in 2019. I did speaking engagements while I was still investing thousands of dollars into my personal development, trying to figure things out. Fast forward to now, years later, I invested $3,500 in a mentor that led me to learning about credit, business funding, and all that. I started a consumer ammunition tactics, my credit slash business funding business in 2021. I built a profitable business, retired a 9 to 5 by June 2022. Now I'm educating y'all to do the same. Hopefully, y'all can take action on information. Why should you listen to me though, right? So me personally, I've been able to use business funding to have a $27,500 day from funding my client $275,000. So I want to know, y'all let me know in the chat what y'all would do if you just funded your client right now, $275,000 and you got that 27,500 payout. Let me know what y'all would do with that. Let me know what y'all would do with that. I see someone say buy mobile homes. That might be from an old question I asked. Let me know what y'all would do with that. What y'all doing with that 30 bands? Somebody's screaming real estate. Somebody's screaming real estate. Okay, cool. All right. So also, I was about to say $200,000 day. $200,000 funded for a 20K day as well. So, funding has been a great thing because you got to think if you charge $1,000 for credit repair, you need 20 clients to do that. This was done with the one client. So keep that in mind. I also had the blessing of being able to retire my mom. So a lot of people may not know, but well, if you're in a Cat Credit University, if you pay attention, you saw that I paid off my mom's car. The remainder of the car note was $7,000. This was part of from a funding client. I used that money to pay it off, and then I helped her retire, and she hasn't worked her job ever since. So this is powerful information. Anyone want to make extra money and retire their mom? Let me know in the comments if you haven't already retired your mom. I don't know. I don't know what y'all. So we might have some super rich people in here, so I don't know what's going on. Let me know what y'all situation is. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, cool. Okay, it's not just me though. It's not just about me. So Brian Winston, one of my students, basically, he funded his client $75,000 from Chase, and he got paid $7,500. So he made $7,500 on that. But it wasn't. That was just with Chase. Overall, you see his whole payout was 18,000 from funding 180,000. It's just that 75,000 of that was just on a business credit card from Chase. So if he didn't get that, he it would have just only been a little bit over $10,000 that he made as far as his payout. So he sent me that screenshot. So just to let y'all know it's proof. I got a student named Ali. So he funded his client $150,000 for a $15,000 payout. So you see, he was paid there. You see the checks right there. It's split into two. And then one of my students, so I had a one-on-one student that were seeing me on IG. They hit me up privately. They said they didn't want like their business and stuff out there. So we funded their client together, and then they made $11,000 in that day because we basically got $22,000 as a payout. So they used my connections to go ahead and sit back. I wired them the $11,000. So does anybody in here want to make 11K in a day from sitting back and using my connections? I don't know if that would be helpful for anybody. So y'all let me know if that's something that would definitely be helpful. Stay until the end. We'll give you an opportunity for that if that would definitely be helpful. Is anybody motivated to make money funding other people? I don't know where y'all mindset is at. I don't know if you want to just use it for yourself. I don't know if you're doing it to fund other people. Y'all let me know like where y'all at right now. Okay, so let's say you're a business owner. You just want to get funded and not do it as a business. That's possible as well, right? So you can go to my YouTube at Michael Benjamin. You can watch a video where we funded my client $50,000 as well. She speaks about her experience working with us. If you're starting your own funding company, it would be good to watch that just to kind of see the process. Before we start though, if you or your client has any negative items on their credit, or if you have a skinny profile, make sure you use your business funding success pack. When you register for the class, you had an opportunity to go ahead and grab that. All right, now let's talk about you and let's talk about business funding. How many of y'all can relate to the following? How many of y'all are tired of constantly getting small limit approvals or getting denied funding in general? How many of y'all are looking for an additional stream of income? How many of y'all are tired of not having enough capital to scale your business? How many of y'all are tired of working a 9 to 5 job you don't love? Drop the number in the chat that you relate to the most. I just want to see where y'all are at tonight. Let me know where y'all are at tonight. Let me see some numbers. Let me see some numbers. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me see what y'all relate to the most. Let me see what someone said 1, 2, 3, and 4. Someone said all four. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna get you out of that. Okay, okay, okay. Somebody said three. Okay, I feel that. Tired of not having enough capital to scale the business. I feel that. I feel you. But it's not your fault, you know. I showed you everyday people like you that did it. It's not just me that's funding people. It's, my students as well. And I want y'all to understand you can do it too. I'm very big on mindset. I'm very big on, spiritual and all that. So drop a one in the chat if you believe that you can do it too. If you don't drop that one in the chat, that means you don't believe that you can do it. You got to drop that one and participate because you got to believe that you can do it. Okay, I like that. I see some ones. That's perfect. All right, so I got a request. So my mom called me earlier today. We were just talking about, the fact I'm gonna be doing the webinar, and she was just telling me, that I should be giving y'all the good information, just making sure y'all are good with everything I'm telling y'all. And then she told me to make sure that I take y'all to the destination. I said, what do you mean by take them to the destination? She said, I want you to take those people on a journey. So I'm coming here to ask y'all, do I have y'all permission to take you on a journey? Y'all let me know below if I have a permission to take you on a journey. Let me know if I have your permission to take you on a journey. Let me know. If I don't got no permission, we can end it. All right, cool. I bet. So remember, no takers are money makers. We're gonna get straight into it. So the journey to success, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about how to structure a fundable credit profile. That's gonna be step number one. Step number two, we're gonna talk about my strategy for how to maximize getting these big limit approvals I've shown you, right? And then step number three, we're gonna talk about how to start this high income skill as a business or side hustle. Anyone that knows me, if you've watched me and my content, I like getting straight to it. So I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible for y'all. So let's imagine, right? Let's imagine you take the information that I gave y'all tonight. You go get a client funded $50,000. This is real, invoices. This is real stuff that's happening. You fund your client $50,000. They get their card. You send them the invoice. $5,000 payment for the 10% was paid. I want y'all to just envision this because this can literally be your reality. This can literally be your reality. If it's not your reality already, this can literally be your reality. So if I give y'all the sauce, do we have a deal that y'all are gonna take action on the information I'm telling you to take action on? Let me know if we got a deal. Let me know if we got a deal. We got a deal. Absolutely. Okay, I like that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, so what's the catch though? The catch is you don't take action and you end up in the same cycle, right? I personally don't like wasting my time, so I don't want y'all to waste y'all time. So make sure you take action on what I'm saying. All right, so why is this training important right now? So banks are stingier than ever. Banks are being more strict and more aggressive with their denials, and you need a proven strategy that's going to help bypass it a little bit. Nothing's guaranteed, but we can do what we can to bypass it a little bit. The economy is bad. It's terrible. Layoffs are very common. I don't work at 9 to 5 anymore, but I'd be hearing, people getting laid off here and there. And then this is just a high income skill. One source of income is too close to none. Is a very high income skill with high margins. And as we transition, into this new presidency, people are going to be looking for money, and it's good to be a business owner. All right, step number one, how to structure a fundable credit profile. Let's get straight into it. So let's talk about the truth about business funding. So business funding is an umbrella term for different products. It could be business credit cards. You see a lot of the 0% interest business credit cards people market. It could be business loans, right? We do private funding as well. It could be a business line of credit if they're at least 2 years in a business, 1 year for certain banks. Banks are stingier than ever. My bank reps, I literally text multiple BRMs. They literally like tell me now in 2024 that the banks are getting more stingy. Minimum requirements leads to denials or the best case minimum funding when you don't have the proper strategy. So that's why we're going to talk about it tonight. Y'all having a proper strategy to go and maximize the funding. All right, so the best way to maximize business funding approvals is through working with the reps that work in a bank. Like I said, we're going to talk about it later. I feel like people on social media have over-exaggerated the simplicity of business funding approvals. Yes, it's possible. Like I showed y'all those approvals, but it's not just cookie cutter. It's not just like straightforward like that. You got to make sure things are in place. The LLC is structured properly, things like that. How can you get business funding? Use your personal credit as a personal guarantor. If you don't know what that means, that's basically you co-signing your business, saying that here's my business. We're going to do a business funding right here, right? You can build your business credit score and, do EIN only business funding. You can do a combination of both, but we're basically going to focus on option one, using your personal credit as a PG. So how do we structure a fundable credit profile? So they typically say 680 minimum. Minimum leads to minimum results. Minimum is for losers. If you're watching this, you're a winner, right? So we want to have 700 plus. If it could be 710 plus, 720 plus, that's what we want. Debt utilization rate, we want it to be single digits. We don't want it to be 30%, right? 2 personal credit cards, we want them to have at least, I would say at least 5K limits, at least 10K limits, but 2,500 we can do with that. And we want them open at least 6 months. No negative items, of course. At least 7 positive open accounts. 3 to 4 hard inquiries or less per bureau. Remember, minimum leads to minimum funding. If we can just focus on these data points, don't be so fixated on the score. Tell your clients to not be so fixated on the score. If we can focus on hitting these data points, we're going to be good. Don't overcomplicate the process. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a while. I'm telling you. So just focus on these data points. All right. So when it comes to actual like business structure, you want to make sure your name isn't like trucking or credit repair. As far as name, you want to have an LLC or corporation. If it's 2 years, you get those lines of credit. You want to have a professional email. You don't want to have Johnny Pants Boy 123 at Yahoo or gmail.com. Have your business email, right? You want to have a 1-800 phone number. So you're actually looking like a serious business. You want to have a business address, your NAICS code. If you don't know what that means, that's basically how you're classified. I recommend any consulting or marketing related one. If you're in trucking, if you're classified as trucking, if you're classified as a credit repair, you're gonna be considered to be more high risk, right? So keep that in mind. If you got low limit personal credit cards, or if you have none at all, or if this is your client's situation, right? Everything I'm saying, apply it to yourself or your client. Your objective should be to get at least one 10K plus card approval. That's what I would recommend. But if it's just 5K, if it's 2,500, as long as it's open for at least 6 months, you'll be good. So this is an example of a $10,000 card. This card is actually in your business funding success pack. I believe this one was the Alliant Credit Union, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you tap into your business funding success pack, I got a whole sequence in there for you. You can also focus on Navy Federal Credit Union for those of y'all that know, and those of y'all that don't know about Navy Federal. So in terms of building the relationship, some banks have their own internal score like Navy Federal. How can you build the relationship with them? You want to initiate any transactions you can. If you have a 9 to 5, or if you're an employee of your business, enroll in direct deposit, you want to communicate to them that you want to make them your primary bank. So you want to do these relationship building tactics. Open up a pledge loan, things like that. How do we get the 25K Navy Federal card? So there's no guarantee, but remember, Navy Federal has their own internal score. And right now, keep in mind, I'm talking about the personal funding. We're going to get into the business funding, but in terms of having the structure right, our personal funding has to be right as well. So what you can do to get that Navy Federal card, initiate any transactions you can for like 60 to 90 days. Like I said, enroll in direct deposit. And then what we've seen that's been successful for us, I'm not saying that this is guaranteed, but applying for the card anywhere between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Eastern time has been powerful for us. So keep that in mind. All right, so waiting room. Don't sleep on the personal funding as a service too. Like one of the things with funding that's been powerful is just figuring out like your niche. If your niche is getting people consistently to 25K card, then focus on that. All right, drop one in the chat if you're still with me. I don't know if anybody's sleeping. Drop one in the chat if you're still with me. Drop one in the chat if someone said Eastern or Pacific time. I think I said Pacific. That was Eastern time. 1 a.m. said 3 a.m. Eastern time. Yeah. 1 a.m. said 3 a.m. Eastern time. All right, cool. Are y'all having a good time tonight so far? We're about to get straight into it. I just want to give y'all a little bit of the foundation. Let's get straight to it. You can take pictures of your notes if you want. Step number 2, we're going to talk about my strategy for how to maximize getting big limit approvals. The biggest thing, like I said, is setting up the personal structure, making sure your clients are set up on a personal structure. So let's imagine, right? Let's imagine you getting $50,000 to $75,000 Chase business credit card approvals at 0% interest for 12 months. That's literally $5,000 to $7,500 per client, or just more capital for you if you're doing it for yourself. But regardless, what I'm telling y'all, if y'all just even focus just on Chase Bank, like you could really make a lot of money. So, like I showed y'all, this is what my student did. This is what a different student did. And they both used the exact Chase BRM that I have and I give to the students over there, and they got those high limit approvals. So I'll give you an opportunity at the end to get access to using the exact Chase BRM so y'all can run it up too. So the reality is that you got to know someone on the inside or a bank relationship manager nowadays because things are getting more stingy. So this is how it works. So the normal process or the old process was that you or your client goes online and applies, and then the algorithm decides what your approval is. So this is the new process, the BRM process. You or your client fills out their information on a customized form from the BRM that's going to be sent to the BRM that they're going to send to the underwriter for manual review. So it's more powerful because we're controlling the situation better and we have an in because the BRM is going to work directly with the underwriter. Like that's super, super powerful. And then I put on the screen right here, you see one of my BRMs I was talking with. This is not from Chase, but it was a BRM. We got a $50,000 approval for a client. All right, so this is why the BRM process is better and why I think y'all should really focus on it. You'll typically get access to higher limits for the same credit report because you know someone that's in the club, right? It's like a recommendation. If you a dude, you're trying to talk to a girl, if you got a homegirl that co-signs you, you're gonna have a better in versus you just going in there cold, right? And you got to remember too, with the BRM, it's being reviewed by a human, which is underwriting. So you have a fair shot versus just algorithm bias. You got a fair opportunity to paint a picture and describe why you should have access to higher limits versus just the algorithm. And specifically what you put on these applications, besides the fact of stated income, it's a certain way you structure these applications to where we're getting these high approvals. And like I said, at the end, you know how webinars go. I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to tap in so you can get access to all that, so you can get your approvals, high approvals. It's not always about what you know, but it's about who you know. So I recommend that y'all read the book Who Not How. It really talks about success in terms of people, right? The who we're focused on who we need to get, which is the BRM versus how we're going to get the approval. You got to focus on the right people that you need to meet. So my recommendation and what I'm letting y'all know, your next big bag is through a BRM. Prioritize building a relationship with the BRM as soon as possible. You could literally walk in a bank and do it that way, but you got to think about it. Are genuine relationships built that way? My recommendation, leverage someone else's relationships while you build up your own. Like I said, this is why my students use my relationships I already built while they are building their own, but you can build up your own at the same time. And like I said, I'm gonna give you an opportunity at the end there's like 10 key questions I would recommend that y'all ask a BRM as you're building up your relationships. And every BRM that I've talked to, it hasn't ended in a good situation, but these 10 key questions really help me dial in and make sure that I'm establishing solid foundation relationships. So funding mindset, you want to have a plan or you're going to blow the opportunity. You got to remember that certain banks verify your income, other banks do not. Certain banks pull from specific CRAs, others might pull from all three. Build relationships with the banks before applying. Can I share some funny resources I use so that y'all can easily get the bag? Let me know. Let me know. I know we got different time zones out here. I don't know if y'all sleeping. I don't know if y'all sleeping. Let me know. All right. So, one amazing resource, Bank Branch Locator. This is good for identifying your targets, where you want to go. You see, that I got all 50 states, right? So if you're working with a client, you're just like, okay, my client live in Alaska. Let me go look at the 7 banks that are in Alaska. That's is definitely going to help you. I'm going to give you a second resource. A second resource that's even more powerful is iBankNet. iBankNet is going to allow you to know how much these banks are able to lend out. All right, it's going to expose their numbers. So I want y'all to use both of these resources when you're doing your research. Use both of these resources when you're doing your research. So when it comes to funding, we got to look at it in terms of there's national banks, which are like Chase Bank, which is what I recommend that you work with. They're available everywhere. When I work with my BRMs, everything is done online. It's remote. There's regional banks. Banks are available in certain areas. You got stuff like Citizens Bank. So my Citizens Bank BRM will tell me, okay, I serve this area. So I know certain areas where the business has to be registered over there. And I just connect the dots and make sure the structure is right. And then you got credit unions. So credit unions are great for giving out high limit funding. And if you got a client that has a credit union personal credit card, I personally recommend that you go ahead and maximize that situation by going to the business funding side of that. So this goes back into what I was saying. So I recommend that you prioritize your BRM relationships first, or work with someone that already has BRM relationships while you're building up your own BRM relationships. And then the next thing you got to look at, what are your or the client's current relationships? They're likely to lend you out more. If you got a $25,000 card from Navy Federal Credit Union, why would you not go apply for the business funding? They're going to pull Experian, right? And get more funding. So keep that in mind. I can't emphasize enough. Chase Bank is lending out a bag, so you got to figure out a way to work with Chase. And then obviously, like I said, credit unions. So this is just strategies you want to make sure that you're doing. Drop one in the chat if you know that resources and all that's been helpful so far. Before I continue going, drop one in the chat if you're with me. Drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat. Okay. I don't want to overcomplicate this process for y'all. I know a lot of people overcomplicate things. I want to make it as simple as possible. We're in the age now, like we don't gotta sit down and watch 30 hours of course material. It's just connecting the dots, right? So just keep that in mind. Before we continue, I just want to know, how did y'all find me? How long you been rocking with me? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. How did you find me? How long you been rocking with me? Did you meet me at the store? I know none of y'all met me at the store, but where'd you meet me at? Let me know. Some of y'all probably on YouTube or something. Cause somebody said YouTube. I knew that. YouTube, Instagram, 4 months. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Instagram doing this thing too. YouTube. Okay, OG mentorship. Okay, I like that. All right, bet. So step number three. So that was step number two, right? We're just getting straight to it. Step number three, let's talk about how to actually start this high income skill as a business or side hustle. So the one thing, this is something that one of my mentors had to tell me, right? Because before I even retired my job, I was just focused on so many different things. But I want y'all to realize and understand, you got to figure out your one thing. What is your one thing? Is it one bank? Are you just going to focus on Chase Bank? Are you going to know Chase Bank like the back of your hand? Are you going to focus on one bureau? Are you going to focus on banks that pull only Experian because you know you can pull off that hard inquiry pretty easily? Is it going to be one sequence, right? My recommendation, I recommend that y'all read the book The One Thing by Gary Keller, and then fund yourself or use your friends, family, etc. to test. When I started funding in 2021, I was doing it for friends and family early on, just testing out different things. Back then, I didn't have the game to know, like, okay, go get you a BRM as well, right? So things change over time. So just keep that in mind. Figure out what your one thing is. Figure out what your one thing is, right? If money is a problem right now for you, figure out your one thing and money will no longer be a problem. All right, go make an LLC. Obviously, you're going to want to do that, but you technically don't need to get your LLC right away. That could often be an excuse not to take action, and I don't want y'all to be in that situation where you're not taking action. Create your funding contract agreement. You want to make sure that it's bulletproof and you have the ramifications based off of the 10%. Someone in the waiting room. Based off of the 10%, right? And then attract your leads. You want to close them and then fulfill the service, obviously. Sometimes you may have to be your own first testimonial. I know that industry standard is charging 10% on the back end, but sometimes some people they'll charge some money on the front end and then they fulfill their service that way. However you decide to do it is how you do it. But the way that I teach is just getting the 10%. It's a very no risk business model for your clients, right? That's why a lot of people are doing it. Stay until the end. I'll give you an opportunity to get our exact funding contract and powerful strategies to attract your clients, right? Because you need to understand how are you going to attract these people. All right, so the truth. So most people underestimate the work that they're going to need to actually be successful with this business model. Like I said, it's a sexy business model, right? Like a lot of people like it. You see people get 0% interest, 50 to 250K, 50 to 150K. Like it's an interesting business model to get it tapped in with. But I don't want you to think, what do I need to do to accomplish this goal? Instead, I want y'all to ask yourselves, how much effort do I need to put in to make failure impossible? How much effort do I need to put in to make failure impossible, right? So you got to ask yourself that when it comes to starting this business, when it comes to continuing this business, when it comes to, just squeezing all the juice out the lemon when it comes to your business funding efforts or personal funding, however you want to do it. Y'all let me know. Are y'all having a good time tonight so far? Let me know. 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 So much over here. Okay. Da, da, da. So how do we nearly make failure impossible? So for me personally, right? This is what happened. I watched a ton of free credit content. I tried to get the bag on my own and got average results. I invested an additional $3,500 into a credit mentorship. I got access to information that made me wish I invested earlier. And then, I mentioned earlier, if you came in late, I mentioned that I retired my six-figure chemical engineering job. I used to work a 9 to 5 as a chemical engineer. I retired in June 2022. So what's my point though? My point is obviously being cheap is expensive, right? Can cost you a lot. But the reality is that you want to find someone who did what you want to do and then, go ahead and invest with them. You get to that next level. So what is my point here? If you need help getting business funding for yourself or your clients, if you're looking to make an extra income every month with your own funding company, if you don't have one already, or if you want to improve your funding company, if you're working a 9 to 5 job right now that you want to leave or don't love, if you want to retire your mom, if you want to, do all these things and more, I can literally be your answer. So keep that in mind. So with great power comes great responsibility, though, right? That's something we got to keep into consideration. Everything we discussed today is useless if you don't have a system on how to consistently get these clients and fund them. And just like, there's no way to guarantee, every application is going to get approved, but just like almost bulletproof each application. So, we went on this journey to success. Step one was how to structure a fundable credit profile. Like I said, don't overthink it. Just have those data points down. When you do your consultations, just make sure that those boxes are checking off. I promise if you don't overthink with it, you're going to be more successful than you think you will be. Step number two, how to maximize the high limit approval. So we talked about, obviously you want to get a bank relationship manager involved, right? You want to establish that relationship. I'm going to give y'all the opportunity at the end to get access to, working with my bank relationship manager and getting access to a training on how you can have the 10 best questions I recommend that you ask a BRM. Step number three, how to start your own funding company. So we talked a little bit about that as far as, having the LLC, obviously, and just making sure that you understand your one thing, understand your mission, things like that. All right, so let me know you drop some. Let me know you learned something by dropping a one in the chat. Let me know you learned something by dropping a one in the chat. Usually on these webinars are super super long. I want to make it super super simple for y'all, just straightforward to it. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Okay, number one. So let's be real though. I gave you what you need to start without the connections, but let's be honest, most people don't need necessarily more information. As I've been doing this since 2021, I've been in that information overload situation, going through all the courses and going through all that. As we step into 2025, I'm about simplicity and transformation. So most people don't need more information, they need transformation. They need a community and a guide to lean on when times get rough. What's the catch though? I have the connections, and Blueprint, you need to maximize your success with this business funding situation. So I invested thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars into myself. So you don't have to. The sad reality why most businesses fail. They lack the resources to get access to extra capital. Basically the exact stuff that we talked about tonight. This is why I'm offering you an opportunity that will help you get your business funding while making money funding others. So if you're working on your own credit and you're looking to, get funding, this is obviously going to help you because you're going to be able to work with a bank relationship manager for yourself. That could be marketing to attract more leads, or if you just want to make a serious bag, funding people, obviously it's going to be helpful for you. So let me know if I could share with y'all the opportunity I put together so that we could all win. Drop a one in the chat. I definitely appreciate y'all coming here tonight on a Sunday night. You could be sleeping. You could be doing whatever. Typically on a Sunday night, I'll probably be working. Maybe I'm recording content or something. So I appreciate y'all, spending this time out here tonight. All right, so let me introduce to you the CAT funding community, right? So the cap funding community. So again, it goes back to my mindset of what I said. As we're stepping into 2025 and all that, I don't really like sitting in front of courses and doing 30 hours of course material. This is literally just a blueprint with resources to help you get to the money simply. Because I have the CAT Credit University, which is $39 a month. We have our 10K mentorship. I was studying both groups. I said, why is one group they're doing, all these thousands of dollars? It's simple. Simplicity is what scales, right? So I created this new community just as a way for y'all to get to the bag super, super simple versus focusing on hella thousands of different skills. So what you're going to receive today, like I said, 50-50 partnership, access to the exact Chase Bank BRM that got my students, these 50, 75K limit approvals, that I get my clients as well. So that's access to those $5,000, $7,500 payouts. The training for questions to ask a BRM to help you properly establish your own BRM relationships. So I definitely recommend as you get in, you go through that so that you're working on establishing your own relationships while you're, partnering and using our relationships. Bulletproof business funding contract, access to over 2,000 trade lines, for yourself or your clients. And then you just get a private community of like-minded individuals that are working together to make a lot of money and impact. So $10,000 plus worth of value, because let's look at it. You get 5 clients, $50,000 card. That's 5,000 times 5, right? So half, that's $12,000, 500. So you just gotta look at it like, just sit and do the numbers. You know what I'm saying? So yesterday's price is not today's price. So this is today. Tomorrow could be a different price. But today, like I've been saying in the marketing, I'm gonna give y'all a special prize because you participated in this for me as we're launching this. So today you get an opportunity because you participated in this beautiful experience with me. So let's remember, like I said, let's say you go get you're in the environment, you go get your client $50,000 in funding. They get their card, you send them the invoice was paid. This can literally be your reality. So remember that. Remember this information is super, super powerful when applied. So November 6th, 2019, I used to work a 9 to 5, like I told y'all. I didn't love my 9 to 5, even though I was making money, right? I was always trying to escape. Like I didn't know what I needed to do, but I wanted to escape. Even though I was making 6 figures at the job. I wish I had this opportunity, right? I wasn't so focused on the business funding. I was doing credit repair business funding. I'm trying to do trucking. I lost money in that. I'm trying to do car rentals. I'm trying to do a bunch of different stuff. But this is special to me because we're focusing solely on the funding. Where your attention goes is where your energy flows, right? So keep that in mind. Also today, only 60-day money back guarantee. I'll literally refund you your money back if you can prove you took action on what we said and you didn't get a return on your investment. So keep that in mind as well. So $10,000 plus worth of value. Remember that. And one thing y'all got to remember too, if you've watched me, if you've seen my products, we got a $10,000 program. I'm known for doing, I know high ticket stuff. You know what I'm saying? So today only, what we going to do? Join the community, one-time price of $29.97. Better yet, I'm going to do one-time price of $9.97. So less than $1,000. If you want to get tapped in, you can go to webinar.catactics.com/offer. I think I can open it right now. Let me know if y'all can see my screen still. So webinar.catactics.com/offer. Can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see my screen? Okay, y'all can see my screen. So if you want to, let me put it in the chat. I think I can put it in the chat. So if you want to get tapped into the community, you can go ahead and join through that link and get access to everything I was talking about. So I'm gonna put it in the chat there. Let me go back to the presentation. So remember, I got students that's, using these exact BRMs to go ahead and get these connections. 75K approval, right? You got $18,000 paid out to them. $15,000 payoff from funding his client $150,000. I went 50-50 with one of my clients. I paid him $11,000 for that. So just keep that in mind. That's what it is. I'm gonna go to the end of the presentation. And yeah, basically, if y'all want to tap in, go ahead and tap in. And we get to the next level together. 60-day money back guarantee. So keep that in mind. Today only $9.97. There's also an option if you wanted to do a payment plan. I wouldn't do the payment plan because it's two payments of $6.97. But I mean, if you need the payment plan, you can do that. But with that being said, congratulations to those of y'all that are investing, those of y'all that will invest. Thank y'all. Hopefully y'all remain blessed. I appreciate. Oh, hold on. So question, if we use a BRM, we got to split 50-50, or how does that work? Yeah, so the BRM situation is 50-50 for this community. The 10K program, I give them the BRM, they can go get their full 10%. But for this specific community, yeah, the BRM situation is a fit for Chase Bank specifically. That's a 50-50 situation. Somebody said one thing, author name. Uh, oh, the one thing, Gary Keller. I think you're talking about the book, if I'm not mistaken. The One Thing by Gary Keller. Okay, yeah. So yeah, with that being said, man, if y'all want to tap in, go ahead and tap in. I'm gonna end the recording. Y'all have a blessed one.